Now, you know you've made it big when your name becomes a popular phrase in everyday language. Like, for example, don't just book it, Thomas Cook it.
But did you know that Thomas himself started out by organising very sober train journeys?
It's 1841 and a Baptist preacher is walking through open country in Leicestershire on his way to a temperance meeting to discuss the evils of drink when suddenly he has a bright idea. Rather than delegates walking for hours in the heat to get to meetings, why not let a new invention known as the steam train take the strain? And that preacher was none other than Thomas Cook, who would later in life become famous for his empire of travel agents and package holidays. For the price of 1 shilling, he sold his very first organised excursion from Leicester to Loughborough to more than 500 like-minded teetotalers. The new Midlands Counties Railway had only just reached Loughborough, and the whole concept of rail travel for passengers and freight was in its infancy. And this train journey wasn't just any old train journey. Oh no. On board the Teetotal Express were not one, but 2 brass bands, playing music that was deemed appropriate for those heading to a mass temperance meeting. And one man who knows the Cook story intimately, and my companion today, is historian Robert Ingle, who's even played the part of Cook in a drama reenactment of that great Victorian outing.
What a glorious thing it would be if the newly developed powers of railways and locomotion could be made subservient to the promotion of temperance.
The train, you see, was the next big thing. It was going to change travel forever. Can you imagine the excitement of that? All these hundreds of people, brass bands playing, all crammed into these open carriages that they called tubs. For the first time in history, people realized that you could travel 10, 20, 30 miles even, and return easily on the same day.
Arriving at Loughborough, there was yet more reverential music and then a march through the town, with the prospect of a picnic at the end of it. And this is where they ended up, Southfield Park. And as news of the temperance rally spread, hundreds more enthusiasts joined in. And included in the price of 1 shilling came lunch in the form of good ham sandwiches. But on the menu that day, along with sandwiches, came temperance speeches. Lots of them.
Can you imagine people standing, listening to it for hours? Talks on evils of drink and what they called lewd entertainment. But there was some light relief, because I've dug out some press cuttings, which are not easy to read, but it says here, some joined in the merry dance, others gave themselves to cricket, and some played running under the handkerchief or tag.
By 9 o'clock it was time for the return trip, and Thomas Cook's first paid-for excursion had been a runaway success. So what does Thomas Cook get out of this first trip? Does he make a profit?
No, on this first trip he didn't. By the mid-1840s, he puts his business on a much more commercial level. And after that, the business really took off. Europe, the Middle East, and finally all over the globe. And so what started as a very simple temperance excursion to here ended up as a great international holiday business.